Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. So I'm sorry if you can hear like this weird rumbling sound. There's people doing construction on the other side of the road from where I live, so yeah, if that's a recurring theme, I apologise for that. So yeah, it's going to make it a bit difficult for this video because I've got 6 albums to go through, so I'm going to get through them as quickly as I possibly can, so let's go. Not only do we start off alphabetically with the band names, but we also start off with the worst album reviewed on this episode, AFI with Bodies. Now, AFI have been a bit weird lately with the more recent stuff. Oh, I should point out they're from Ukiah, California. I don't know why I'd have to point that out considering that they've been around for a long time. I mean, this is their 11th album. But much like with the Blood album, which was the one before this, I just didn't really get a lot out of it. I got a lot less out of this one, to be honest. It just felt so, I don't know, dispassionate. Like, I'm giving it a C-. I did not get a lot out of this, you know? And it's not a super long or complicated album, but it just didn't really feel its time well. It doesn't change a lot, and honestly, the band just do not have that fire inside them. I'm not sorry for that joke. I don't know. They need to do something, and if they knock out another album in another 4 years, hopefully they're able to discover that. I don't think it's likely. They need to change something, and they need to change it soon. So yeah, just sort of avoid this one if possible. It's got moments, but not big ones. Next up is somewhat of a surprising one. Bo Burnham with his album Inside the Songs. Now, this is the soundtrack for his most recent comedy special, Inside. And when I use comedy in quotation marks, I don't mean that as a bad thing because it made me laugh my ass off, but I see it more like an art house movie mixed with a stand-up special mixed with a lot of songs, and these are the songs from that special. And there is a lot of really great shit on this, and much like I would give the special if I were reviewing that, I'm giving this album an A+. I had so much fun listening to this album. Like, Bo has just come so far as a songwriter by this point. I'm glad he's focused more on his singing as well because he sounds amazing, but he's just able to capture so many moods. And the fact that he doesn't use a lot of instruments, like he keeps it very bare bones, which helps with the production. Like, there's one song, That Funny Feeling, which is just him on a guitar, and there's nothing added to it. I like that because it makes it feel a bit more honest. And the album, while it does have really funny moments and does make you laugh, there are points where it'll make you think as well, because there's topics about like his mental struggles during the COVID thing, because he started writing the special around the time that COVID became a thing last year. So yeah, there's also stuff about politics and really good parodies of social media and just really good eye-opening stuff on social media. So listen to this one if you can find the time to. It will be worth it. It is an absolute. It's just a joy to listen to, and it hits you right in the feels at the right times. So yeah, consider listening to it. And next up we go to another slightly older band, Garbage, with their 7th album, No Gods, No Masters. Now, these guys are from Madison, Wisconsin, and again, much like AFI, I don't really feel like I need to explain where they're from. I'm not going to tell you where Bo Burnham's from, because I think that would just be weird, because he's like a person, he's not part of a band, so yeah, that's why I didn't do that. But yeah, this is 7th album by Garbage, and I've wanted to listen to a full Garbage album for a long time. I almost added them to my 5th season of Backtracking, which was all the female-led bands, but I didn't because there was rumours they were releasing new music, and they didn't until this past Friday. Not this past Friday, the Friday before that. So I could have listened to them and covered them last year. I'm an idiot, but fact is, I'm also giving this album an A+. I really enjoyed this one. I'm glad I got into Garbage when I did. Considering how long they've been around, they mixed this album up really creatively. There's a lot of really good pacing changes, a lot of really good subject matter in the lyrics, like, stuff with their old record label, stuff about, like, Black Lives Matter and homosexuality and sexuality in general. Are just really solid, really consistent stuff from them, as you would expect, and I'd only listened to like 1 or 2 Garbage songs before this. I'd never listened to a full album, so I'm really glad I did. And if you're interested in checking out Garbage, I recommend listening to this in full as well. It could open your eyes and might even tempt you to go over their older stuff. I know I will at some point. This is great. listen to No Gods No Masters by Garbage. Next up is an example that we're sort of bouncing around with all the bands, and that will continue for the next album after this. Green Jelly with their 5th sort of album, called Garbage Band Kids. I say sort of because their last one was like sort of a redo of previous songs, but Garbage Band Kids mostly consists of original songs, so Green Jelly are, or Green Jello as they're pronounced, even though it's a Y with an umlaut over it, are a comedy metal punk band from, I have the page open, from Buffalo, New York, there we go. And it's mostly just Bill Manspeaker, the lead singer, on his own now, and this album is a perfect example of stupidly effective, so I'm giving it a C+. There were moments where I didn't really laugh, but this, I don't know, like, it was good in terms of lyrical content, but it was just weird. Like, it tried too hard with some things, like, yeah, no. You know, it sort of has that Psychostick feel, which is ironic because considering that Green Jelly and Psychostick are really good friends. Psychostick are just a better band, personally. And, you know, they were around, like, Green Jelly, Jello. See, I keep saying it that way. Green Jello were around long before Psychostick were, and Psychostick are doing a better job than Green Jello were. I don't know. But, like, this album is good for what it is, surprisingly, but not impressive, I guess. Like, it just feels very basic by the numbers, but it does the basic by the numbers stuff in a really good enough way. I don't know. It's a C+ album. It just feels like one when you listen to it. A bit too long as well. Like, there was a lot that needed cutting out. Considering it was 12 years after his last album too, like, there's no excuse for that, so, I don't know. Yeah, sort of avoid this one, I guess, but if you want something to just sort of bop a little bit to, it could be worth your time. Who knows? And finally, for bands that have been around since the 90s, sort of, not including Bo Burnham, who was born in the 90s. Does that mean he still counts? Anyway, it's Sleater-Kinney from Olympia, Washington, with their new album, Path of Wellness. Now, I actually listened to The Center Won't Hold, which was the album that they did before this, and I really liked that one. I like this one too, but I'm giving this album, I think, the same grade I gave the last one, which is B+. Like, there's some really good content to it, and, like, you know, they're signed to a pretty good label as well in Mum and Pop. I think that's, like, a really good indie punk label. And both Slater and Kinney, Carrie and Corin, are just, you know, really entertaining singers-songwriters, really good guitarists as well, really good vocalists. I don't know, like, I've only listened to 2 Sleater-Kinney albums, so I don't know if their previous stuff prior to Center Won't Hold sounds a bit more different. But this just feels like them doing a really good job at what they usually do. I'm not really sure how else to describe it. Solid riffs, good lyrics and stuff, good performances. It's not the garbage thing where, like, they mix it up in a creative way. Like, Sleater-Kinney don't do that a lot, but they just do what they do, and they do it really well. And that's not something I can complain about. Definitely a lot less than with Green Jello of all bands, so there you go. Yeah, maybe give this one a shot if you're interested. And next up, from Washington DC, we cover Wrist Meat Razor with their second album, Replica of a Strange Love. Now, Wrist Meat Razor are a sort of mathcore band. They've been around for about 4 years. They're one of those bands as well that have formed from, like, the remnants of other bands around the Washington sort of mathcore scene. And this album is a bit of a difficult one. Giving it a B-. Now, as we know, mathcore by its very nature is a frenetic thing, but there's way too much polish on this album that really brings it down for me. I think if there were less work done in the production to make it sound as heavy as it does, and a bit less melody, I think it would be a lot higher. Personally, B- is not a terrible grade, though. It's still got really good moments, and, like, there's a lot of good grit to it when there needs to be. But I felt the same way about this as I did about Tetrarch's new album. Like, there was so much that should have been done and could have been executed a lot better. And it's there. Like, the fire is there. They just really need the right way to light it, you know? But Wrist Meat Razor is, for one thing, a really good name. I don't know why. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's actually quite a grim name. But I like it. It just sounds cool. The fact that it's all one word, that's how you know it's a mathcore band. So, there you go. But yeah, maybe give it a try. It's a bit lopsided, you know, it's a bit, like, all over the place, but it does eventually find its feet, and it's good at the end of the day. And that'll about do it for this episode of Music of the Week. I will see you all hopefully tomorrow with a very brief history of Entry WK. And tomorrow night, definitely, PBW versus AVW. It's going to be good, it's going to be a good show, and I'm glad I got the card sorted for it yesterday. So, yeah, I'll see you all for those, and as always, thank you for watching, you're awesome. Bye bye.